Hi, this is Michelle. I had a message yesterday. Someone asked me if I could do a video on how I do Santa's eyes. So I pulled out a kit that I'm going to be doing next, and it has a Santa ornament. And here is his eyes. They're satin stitched with one strand of black floss, one strand of white, and then you outline the outside of his eye with black, and you make a little white highlight. So here is the face from the ornament. I don't cut faces out before I stitch them. It gives you more to hang on to here, and you don't, you know, sometimes handling the felt, you kind of stretch it out and it gets distorted a little bit. So I leave it attached and I just kind of rough cut around it. So on my small needle that comes with the kit, I have a 18-inch piece of black floss knotted at one end, just pulled through the eye of the needle here. And I start on the inside, so I'm going to start with the black pupil part first. And satin stitch is worked shortest distance, so I'm going to go side to side here. And I'll just start at the edge of the black line where the pupil is. I'll go just on the outside of it and then come back through just on the inside of this outside line here. And like when I do the Sugar Plum Fairy or any of the little faces on the little ladies that are on the stockings, I'm just using one strand and I'm going all the way through. I think it helps to keep your stitches straight and even and you don't get any pucker. And once you attach the face anyway, no one's going to see that backside, so that's how I do that. So I'm just satin stitching the black part of the eye here, keeping my stitches right next to one another, not overlapping, keeping them straight. And I can see that little ink dot there. That's where the little highlight is gonna go, and I'll do that with white. And I'll go over it with the black, but I kind of keep, you know, keep note of where it was. I can even look back at the cover photo and see where that was if I need to. So I've just about got the pupil done. And with eyes, I always start on the inside. I just find it easier. Doesn't mean it's right, but this is how I do it, and I get pretty good results every time. And on faces, no matter what face it is, I always take my time and don't hurry, because you want your faces to look nice. And you want them to look, well, you know, you want them to look sweet. You don't want them to look scary. So I'll go right up to the top of that pupil there. One more stitch ought to do it. So there, Santa's pupil is all done, and I'll go on the back side. I usually go under, go under the stitches, loop it through, make a knot. If I think that'll hold, I'll just do one. Sometimes I did two. There's two. So cut that off close. So now I need my white, and again, I have a small needle from the kit. One strand, 18 inches with a knot. I always use 18 inches because I feel like it tangles less. You don't have to unwind as much, and then you're not, pulling it through your arm way high. You just keep it close. I think it's easier. So now I remember where the little highlight is, and I'm going to do a French knot. I'm going to do one strand French knot, but I'm going to wrap it around twice. So come up from the back. And then I'm going to wrap it around twice. So there's 1, 2. And I keep my needle close when I do French knots. It kind of helps to keep that little loop there that you have around your needle. It keeps it tight. And then I hold it with my thumb until I pull it all the way through. And that gives you a nice little knot right there. So there's that. There's the little highlight. Now for the white of his eye. Same thing as I did with the pupil. I'll start down here at the bottom, and I'll go just inside the outside line there, and I'm going to come right back through right next to the black. And again, keeping my stitches as straight as I can and even, not crooked. It just makes you have just like the neatest, nicest eye. And don't pull really tight. When I'm doing satin stitch, I just pull the floss through until I see it just laying right next to the next stitch. You don't want it really loose, but yet you don't really want it tight either. So just so it lays there. You can kind of feel it as you pull down. You can kind of feel the stop there, and then I don't pull any more than that. And this is curved, as you can see. His eye is kind of curved up there. I curve it a little bit as I go around, but I want it to stay as even as I can, so it's like a gradual thing. And I don't go, you know, once I get to the top of the pupil, I don't just automatically start going straight across, because then, I don't know, I think it just looks funny to me. But I mean, if you like the way that looks, it's okay. It'll be fine. But this is how I do it. So as you can see, I'm kind of like very slightly turning it with every stitch. And it stays nice and even, and you don't have any gaps in your stitches. And so I'm almost through with the white. All right, one more stitch. And the white part is complete. Even if I'm doing a bigger face, I still will use one strand and keep my stitches close together. So there, I just pulled this. See, I pulled that through the black and the white. So I just did like one little knot back there, looped it under the stitches, and that's enough to hold it. You know, the face isn't really going to get pulled on or anything. So the last thing you do is you're going to outline your eye, and it said one strand of black. So I like to do the eyelashes first when I'm doing eyes, just so, I don't know, I think it looks better to have them done and then have the end of the eyelash underneath the outline of the, you know, the big part of the eye. So again, I'm going to go all the way through on this because I just think it looks better, and I don't have to, you know, pinch the felt and keep, you know, moving. I've messed up some faces by doing the outline stitch like just on the top. So I started going all the way through. I find it looks better. So, okay, so now I'm going to do the outside of the eye. I'm not going to worry about doing under here where the pink part for the cheek is going to go. So I'm just going to do like around the sides and around the top. Small stitches close together. And I kind of use my thumbnail as a guide a lot. To kind of keep, you know, keeps the floss where I want it. And this eye is pretty much done. I'll do the other eye when I'm ready to make the ornament. But for now, you can see how I do the eyes. I get pretty good results every time. I always do faces and eyes the same way. So there's his eye for the ornament. That's how you do it. Have fun.